Welcome back.
Welcome back. Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome to Monday night. With
I'm John.
And I'm John.
We're John and John from Big West Wellbeing.
Yes.
We are here for our weekly intuitive guidance Q&A.
Yeah. Q&A, intuitive guidance, or whatever you want to call it. It's yeah. So, got anyone on yet?
All right, let me sort this shit out. There we go. Done the shares.
All right.
All righty.
Okay, so welcome, peoples. So intuitive guidance is for what would you call it?
Anyone.
It is for anyone and for anything, actually. It's like learning to intuit our life from the inside, from the Christ consciousness within, or from the intuitive self. Just reading different issues that are going on in our life. There's never any problems. They're just messages, basically. So the sooner you can work out the message and work with the message, the sooner it will clear up by itself most of the time.
That's right.
So
even just the act of being willing
yes
to clear it.
Yes,
can clear it.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
So yes, learning to run with the tools that we share. So if it's light, it's right is one of our primary tools.
Yep.
So this is how we intuit and listen to our intuition. When it's on, like our intuition or our true self, let's call it our true self, is always perfect. So when something's not feeling perfect, when something's feeling out, that's our intuition trying to talk to us. So
sending us a message.
It's sending us a message.
Like a warning, Will Robinson, warning.
Yes. So little things like one of our tools is if you feel sick or you feel out of whack, that's usually your intuition speaking to you. Whatever you're thinking about or feeling, and I just went through it a minute ago before the live, on a deeper feeling, there was a fear there or a worry, and it's making me get this like slightly sick feeling. And it's like, and I couldn't work out it wasn't a thought, it was a deep feeling like maybe this, and I worked out maybe this isn't working the way I thought it would be, And then I've gone, oh, that's not true. And then the sick feeling disappears instantly. And so,
how about that?
So, yeah. So, we call it Every Pain is a Lie, but we're going to change the name of that.
Yeah, we still haven't come up with a new name for that one yet.
That one's sort of it, but that's real deep-seated. Our intuition is working with our feelings and our emotions. And anytime we're feeling out of balance, out of whack, it's actually a message from our inner self, from our inner guru, if you want to call it that. And it's trying to tell us that everything's right. Whatever you're thinking is wrong. So it's only our thinking that needs correcting, not our life. So
yeah, that's
it's always our point of view that needs the correction. And then if there is something in our life, once we correct the point of view, the life sorts itself out, just like nature does. So if anyone wants to come on, they can come on live. They can click on the Zoom link up at the top.
We have Zoom, so you can come on. You can wear your pajamas. You can wear nothing if you prefer. You don't have to share video, just audio.
Especially if you're wearing nothing.
Especially if you're wearing nothing. We don't recommend coming on live.
I don't think Facebook will like that. Yeah. So or you can just ask some of the questions in the comments.
Yeah. We might ask you for a little bit more information. We do prefer when you ask a question to give us information like it's on the left side, it's on the right side. And when you're describing something, use your own words. Don't try to create crafty words or use doctor terms or, like I feel like there's a pressure on my shoulder that feels like it's pulling me back or pushing me forward. So those kind of
describe how it feels to you.
Yeah.
Describe what it makes you feel
it's
like
your message.
Rather than what the actual pain is medically classed as. So and that way we can help guide you.
We're not doctors, so we don't talk doctor terms.
We can help guide you into what that is. And some of the readings that I did last week for the free readings, a lot of them for the last week have been about people looking at the things that annoy them and how that's reflective inside themselves. So seeing how sometimes the things on the outside that annoy you are just things that you're doing to yourself on the inside. So
it's quite incredible tool.
That's quite a fun one. It's a little bit confronting at times. We like to justify why we're angry at the world or whatever. And also clearing up negative emotions, resentment, all of those sorts of things. They're all little messages from our soul to and they show up in our body. Our soul represents the body, the lower three chakras represent the soul, the body, the emotions and stuff like that. The center chakra of the heart represents the masculine, divine masculine, and the other three chakras represent the divine feminine. So bringing these so bringing these three aspects together in the heart, the threefold flame joining in the heart, combining. This really is where that's the rising of the sun, as they call it. This is bringing the soul up to the heart.
And sometimes we get messages and we can't interpret them. You know, maybe we're trying too hard, or we just, we're not ready to maybe hear that message right now.
Yeah, and sometimes the messages are so like it's a message that it's a really deep feeling that's been there for such a long time. It's really hard to read at first.
Yeah. So
this is why we explore with the conversations. Had a couple of readings today, which were quite good. I think one of them's on here now. Yeah. She said thank you.
She said thank you. I saw
and
that.
So if anyone's got any health issues, or if you want to say what irks you, that one's better to come on live. What annoys you or what pisses you off?
What irks you? What irks you, John? What the fuck is that? What irks you, people?
What annoys you? What animates you? It's like, so these things are there to tell us a message.
Yeah.
And it's quite a powerful one, that one. So
g'day everyone.
Hello, Will. My son's online.
Hey,
so.
Will. Max is there.
Max is there. A few of the old ones. So yes, if anyone's got any little issues coming up, if they've got pains, if you want to interpret even dreams or car issues, anything like that.
Church of State stuff.
So, if it's just generally just how to listen to your intuition more.
So you're going to give away some more sessions this week?
Yes, I'll give away 3 more sessions this week.
Cool.
There's three free readings again this week.
Yeah, so drop a comment.
Drop a comment if you want a half an hour free reading.
Yep.
I'll be doing that through the week. We'll
go back through and pick the first 3.
Yep. And unless you've had one before.
Then we will skip you.
So if anyone's got any little issues, little problems, what did we go through this week?
I just went through a power clearing just before. I was just did maybe a 45-minute meditation. I was lying down and surrendered to guidance from my guides, instead of trying to work through stuff myself. And cleared a lot around my crown chakra, and then sort of went through all the back of my chakras and just let the energy run out. And I'm kind of a little bit stuck in my chair right now.
Okay, so go back up a little bit, I think.
All right, Max. Okay, Max, the right side of my back, about halfway down, about just below the shoulder blade, muscle soreness as if it's tightened up.
So that's the back of the heart chakra. So most of the stuff on our back is about past issues. So, and if it's muscular, it's usually to do with guilt. Muscles, the negative emotion that gets stored in muscles is guilt. So feeling guilt it's usually about wanting to follow your path now, but you're feeling guilty because of the past, because of something you've done, or another male, you're feeling guilty about, your interactions with another male because it's on the right side. It's either about the male or the external world. So there's a feeling of guilt that's stopping you from following your heart, but it's bullshit guilt basically from the past. It's like it doesn't apply anymore, but you're still running that, and it's like it's just go, okay, well that's the past, and this is now. This is one of the little tools that ask yourself, maybe that doesn't apply no more. Am I feeling guilty about something from the past that doesn't apply anymore? And feel if the muscles get looser as you say that. It should, if that hits the mark, which it feels like it is as I'm talking about, I can feel it letting go.
As well.
So you're feeling guilty about like wanting to follow where you are. You want to follow your heart on the right side, which is the external world or the male. So it's either with a male you want to say something, or it's the external world that you want to do. But because of the guilt of the past, you've got some dialogue going on or some feeling going on that I didn't do something before, so I shouldn't be able to do it now.
Like the terms that we used previous me are coming through. So maybe if it is stuff that you're thinking about, just remember to refer to it as the previous version of you.
So as you say that, say, okay, that's some guilt from the past that's blocking me from what I want to do now. Thank you, body, for the message, and I'll start letting go of that. I'll work out how to let go of that. So that's the simple version.
Very good.
Okay,
where are we? Alison Cook, having lots of ups and downs, finding it hard to stay positive on a daily basis.
Look, there's a lot of stuff usually. That's very general, but a lot of the ups and downs are filters. They're holding on to all the beliefs and trying to control your life too much. So it's like, that the ups and downs are usually from your soul, your spirit gives you a direction, and you get started on that direction. And guilt from the past and judgments and worries and fears and that stop it. So it's the ups and downs are actually quite a good sign, because it means that there's something happening, right? There's the moving forward, and it's trying to get you to get rid of all of these expectations, beliefs, other people's opinions, and all that sort of stuff. There's a whole bunch of them in there that really cause that ups and downs. So
maybe come on for a chat.
You get new direction in life, and then you know, oh, I can't do this and I can't do that. That stifles the energy. So the energy goes forward, like moves forward, it's new direction, new time. And then the old fears come in, or the old beliefs or somebody else's opinions come in and block that. And that's what causes the ups and downs. So it's actually usually quite a positive thing, but it makes it feel worse, because when the moving forward feels so good that when you stop, it feels awful. It feels horrible, and it is quite difficult. But you know, some of the other tools, you know what annoys you with people. These things can give you access to find out to have some big shifts, to see how to stop that stopping and starting.
And also, I mean, tool number one, checking with your guru. You know, when you're actually feeling down, maybe it's a misidentified. You know, and maybe that period is where you need to be in that head. You know, to reflect, or to just wait. You know, for the next message or whatever it is, right? So you can sort of check in and just go, okay, well, I'm feeling down. You know, is that a positive?
Or is it somebody else's?
Or is it somebody else's?
Are they my feels? You know, we've got the tools. So I've got a couple of the videos on YouTube. Are they my feels? Is when you're feeling down, maybe you're picking up everyone else's stuff around you, and so you just go, instead of saying I'm feeling down, so there's a feeling of downness, or there's a feeling of you know,
like a stopping feeling,
stuckness, or whatever. Name the feeling, but don't say it's mine or I have it. Say there is this feeling of stuck. Is that mine? And then if it reduces, you just say return to sender, or piss off, or whatever command you want to use, whatever works for you. And just repeat that a couple of times, but focus on the feeling, ask the question, and see if the feeling gets stronger or weaker. That's how you work out if they are yours. Because most people on this show are going to be empathic to some degree. And we do pick up a hell of a lot of thoughts and feelings and emotions, and feelings like even hunger and pains that just aren't ours.
All kinds of random shit.
So working with that one really can clear that.
Tiredness is my favorite. Okay, Nat. Hey, John and John, can you please advise me on feet pain, burning and aches?
Burning and aches. So burning can often relate to the solar plexus, because it's the fire element. So the burning is, it can be a positive. The burning is the sensation of trying to burn off the old things that are limiting your past. And then the aches are holding on to those limitations. So a lot of the aches and pains that are there that are ours, if we've checked, first of all, are they mine? And then
we got a tool for that, John.
Yes. And then after you check that, then it's like a lot of them are just a build up of negative emotions, especially in the legs and feet. It's like resentment that you couldn't do certain things. You know, resentment builds up in the bones, and that really causes a lot of aching, especially in the legs and feet. So resentment, and it's not like you're a resentful person. It's a subtle background resentment that's like, oh, I'm fucking resenting the fact that, you know, I couldn't get things going, or, you know, I tried this business before and it didn't work. That was one of my ones. It's like, and so you just go, okay, is that resentment? Is that guilt? And it's like, you know, how do I forgive that? How do I forgive myself and allow the forgiveness in? Because the one solution to all of this stuff, if you can get to it, is forgiveness. So if you can receive forgiveness and give forgiveness, which is a lot easier than it sounds. I mean, a lot harder than it sounds. And it's a lot easier to fix everything if you go down that road. So it's a bit of both. It is easier just to take care of this all in one go, because forgiveness and grace both come from the crown chakra. They come from above our head, and that one can just clear everything, and we don't have to do anything. But that's the one that takes the most courage to do. You really to forgive and let go. You have to trust that the universe is going to guide you in the right direction. And that's the scary part for most people. We have all these preconceived ideas from our ancestry, from religions. The universe is going to FOMO me. The fear of missing out, or the fear of monkeying out.
The fear of monkeying out.
And so that's the deep-seated fears, and that's why it's hard to let go with a lot of this stuff sometimes. Technically, it's easy to do, but emotionally and internally, the courage can be quite challenging at times.
Okay, what we got? Not sure about this one, but I'll give it a go. Trees. Having problems with my son. Can you see any positive outcomes? He had an accident in my car. I fixed it. Seems he's always got problems around me, and I want to move away one day. Too much for my age and mental health.
Yes, a lot of the problems when you have that, so that it's like what we call a bounce back. You know, you get worried about them, they pick up the worry, and then they think there's something wrong. This happens a lot with the younger children and parents a lot.
Yeah.
You know, the parents worried about their child, and it could be just a general worry of where society is and stuff like that. The child then picks up the worry feeling from the parent, and they think they're doing something wrong, and then the parent picks that up back, and it just bounces back and forward. This fear, worry, fear, worry, fear, worry, fear, worry. And it just creates all sorts of havoc. These negative emotions of fear and worry and resentment, and you know, we don't even realize, because each person picks them up and then interprets them slightly different, and it seems to back up what we're saying. Like, oh, you know, now he's really fucking. Now look at him, I can see it on his face. He's fucking scared now, and it's like he's picking up on your fear, and you're wanting to do what you need to do. So it does take a little bit of work to do this. It takes a little bit of focus, but again, just asking, is this not true? Is this the opposite of what I think it is? And this is where you've got to go on the feeling. If it feels light, say, oh, is he going to be all right? Is the universe going to protect him, and I will be able to move away? And you'll feel, as soon as I say that, it feels light.
Yeah.
It feels light. It's like often our subconscious worry is the thing that's causing the problem, because we pick it up. He's concerned about you subconsciously, you're concerned about him, and it just bounces back and forward.
He may already pick up that you would like to move away, but that you're staying because you think he needs. He thinks that he thinks that you think you need to be here. You know? And you see how that sort of just bounces back, and then you probably pick up, oh, maybe he doesn't want me to go away, or maybe he does want me to go away, and you end up in this cycle of just bouncing that stuff backwards and forwards.
Yeah, the negative fear, worry, all those negative emotions just keep really bouncing back and forward and magnifying with each other. So check in and just go, is it going to be okay? Does that feel light? And you know, and we all have to start to learn to trust more that the universe is always protecting us if we allow it. We can stop it, we can go against that protection, but we're all being guided, we're all being protected. We just don't listen to it. And then we go against it, and then we have a motorbike crash and break our legs, and you know, all that sort of stuff, which is where I first discovered most of this stuff in my young 20s. So what else have we got?
Okay.
If anyone wants to come on live and talk a little bit deeper, we can definitely hone in on some. I had really good results today and on Friday with some of the readings I did.
Yeah.
Some people had some.
We don't do like, you know, is there anything for me, or can you have a message for me generally? So, if you have a question, ask a question.
This is intuitive guidance, so we like to work with you on it. Because it's the old saying, if you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach him how to fish, you feed him for life. So if we can help and point you to it, we could probably give you some guidance on that, but that's not what the purpose of this show is for.
Yeah, that's right.
I can see a lot of those things, but I just don't advocate to that particular type. You know, if it's an emergency, and sometimes I will when I'm doing readings and stuff like that, but not on this format.
This medium.
Yes. So
another one. So what else? What else is going on while we wait for questions?
Yes.
Hey, Patricia.
Hi. Yes. Thank you to all the readings we had this week. So yes, we did offer. I'm offering 3 more free half-an-hour readings this week. So if anyone wants a free,
I've seen one person snap one of those up. So
just drop a PM or a comment in here, and we'll
drop a PM.
Yeah.
Oh, about that. Fuck, he's getting technical.
Finally worked out what that one was.
So just drop him a PM.
I'm getting a bit technical.
He's getting the lingo.
It's like I worked out how to work the Zoom by myself this
week.
Yeah.
Fucking stepping up in the world.
Got rid of those filters, saying I don't know how to use technology. So yes, filters is another big one. This is what all these permanent words we have. We create these limitations for ourselves, saying, "Oh, everybody does this," or my son's always. Maybe you're saying, your son's always messing up. That always word creates a filter in your mind, and you don't see the times. It doesn't mean he always is. You might not even mean that, but the subconscious mind picks that up. and you start blocking out the times when he's not, when he's getting it right.
That's right.
You know, these are the filters that we create. So to uncreate those filters, we just chuck in a non-fixed word, like it seems like he's always messing up, or it seems like everybody does this. It appears to be, I think everyone does this. You just change that, and then all of a sudden you become aware of all the times when that doesn't happen. And that really can cause some really fast, drastic changes.
Natasha, my 10-year-old daughter can see spirits. Some of them frighten her. What's the best thing I can tell her to do or do for her?
One of the things that I always, when I first learned to clear entities and stuff like that, one of my teachers, as an incarnate being, as a sentient being, we are a spirit with a body. So in this dimension, in the third dimension, and whatever other dimensions we are in here, doesn't matter what sort of entity or that it is, we have more power here just by the fact that we are both a spirit and a body. So you tell them that nothing can harm them unless they get into the fear. So don't worry about it. Nothing can harm you because you've got a body, and that you're protected, but just by that means in this dimension. You know, so if you're in pure spirit, then maybe some of those other beings could be stronger than you or whatever. But again, they can only anything can get power over you only through fear.
Yeah.
That includes the physical world. You know, this includes anything in life. The only way that we can lose any power is through fear. And fear has a myriad of, you know, guilt is fear, resentment is fear. These are all these negative emotions are all a type of fear. So it's like, it's not trusting that the universe is guiding us, or we're blocking the universe from guiding us, and we're creating that fear to happen. We're creating these things to come into play by blocking our guidance and blocking our divinity. So,
yeah, I mean, if it helps, like with my little one, at times when she's scared at night, I sort of call in angels, you know, I call in her angels to be with her and to be around her. So if that maybe, you know, give her some comfort if she ever feels scared, just to call on the angels of heaven to come down and help.
And also knowing that yourself, that the young ones, especially up to a certain age, they have so much more protection around them and so much more guidance. It's insane when you see how much there is. The reason a lot of them don't is because they reflect the parent. You know, that's why some things do happen to them and they don't follow it, because it's actually the parent's fear that gets transposed onto the child.
You know, and I think she may even pick up on other people if she's spoken to other people about it, perhaps, and they've given her maybe that fear or that negative side of it. You know, so her belief is going to build the more that she talks about it, and the positive reinforcement of that it is okay to see them, that they can't harm her, and so on and so forth.
And sometimes the fear is, you know, it's you know, I had one where when I had a issue when I was 10 years old, and I had this entity come at the end of my bed. It was actually my older self. It was something that I did in my 30s, going back to try and protect my younger self. and I remember that from back then. It really fried my head on this no time thing, because it made it so much more real. But a lot of that time, it feels familiar to us, but because it could be our older self, when we do a lot of clearing on ourselves, we basically time travel. And those entities can be our older self trying to protect ourselves when we're guided to do it the wrong way.
Okay, Marie, last week you spoke about sagging skin, but I can't remember the details. Sorry, do you mind recapping on that?
So with the Chinese medicine, you've got the five major meridian groups. There's 12 major meridians, and there's 5 groups of yin and yang. So the stomach and the spleen are the earth element, and the earth is what holds things up. So, you know, like you've got a river going down, and so the walls of the river are what keep the river in place. So if and that's the earth, and it's strong. So if that gets weak and the walls fall down, then the water splays everywhere, so it can't hold it in, it can't contain it. So the earth element gets drained in the stomach and the liver, stomach and the spleen, when you worry too much. The thing that drains the earth element is excessive worry. Or there is other ones which, you know, starts to get a bit more technical, which is the opposite element, when you've got too much wood going and you've got too much fire, and there's other things that can drain the earth. But the primary one, the one that's like 90% of the time, is worry, overthinking, questioning yourself. You know, that's the main thing that'll cause saggy skin, flat feet, prolapsed discs, all that sort of stuff. It's like, because the stomach and the spleen, that cleans the blood, strengthens the blood, and it holds everything up. So overthinking, worrying. And it's really hard to work out what overthinking is if you're an overthinker, because my overthinking,
It's like an oxymoron.
Yeah, so that's just your habit, what you're used to. So the only way to stop that is to get active.
Yep.
To do something that requires you to focus more than you can let your mind drift. So it doesn't have to be high activity, but it has to be concentrated active.
Yep.
So even doing even doing creative stuff like music or painting and stuff, where you've got to focus and stop thinking.
Some people do drawing, knitting, playing guitar, or
some people do soccer.
Yeah, some people go power walking, and some people do nothing. Yeah, and then they overthink.
And then they think about it.
And they think about doing something.
They think about it. They try and work out if they're overthinking, which causes them to think more.
I don't know.
Am I overthinking? I'm thinking. So
all right. Alison Cook. Alison says that she's seeing a diamond within her heart chakra and she's not sure what that means. Any ideas?
Well, look, it would take a little bit more exploration.
Yeah.
But if it's at the center of a heart, the heart of hearts, which is the place where our Christ consciousness point connects, where the Christ consciousness within is in what they call the sacred heart or the heart of hearts. So that's inside or just on top of the heart chakra, depending on which point of view you look at. So I'm thinking it could be part of that. It's trying to get you to go into that space, into the heart of hearts, or the sacred heart. It's trying to draw your attention there.
Maybe there's a twinkle that's being misinterpreted as a diamond.
Yeah, but the diamond shape is a strong shape, so it could be protecting as well. But what it's trying to do is get you to focus in there, and so then you pull your higher self, your divine feminine down, and the divine masculine, which is in the heart, into that center point, and the divine child, which is the lower three chakras, the soul, up. And when the three aspects of ourselves join in the sacred heart, so it's like, so the masculine is already the heart chakra, the feminine is the top three chakras, and the divine child is the lower three chakras. But even the masculine has to sort of turn inwards into the heart center, and when the three of them join in there, the threefold flame, that's the start of really true enlightenment. That's I've touched on that, and it only takes like one little touch, like the tiniest little dot, and it'll melt you, and you'll cry like tears of relief and joy, and you can sob uncontrollably when you touch that point with those three aspects. So it feels like it's just trying to draw your attention there, because we're supposed to guide our life from our heart, and we're supposed to get the inspiration or the oversight from the divine feminine, the upper three chakras. It gives us the guidance. The heart is the driver, the divine masculine, and the child is the one, the innocence is supposed to come up and be able to play and live life and share the love. So we can call it wisdom, power, and love, or wisdom, courage, and love, if you want to call it that. Sometimes it's easier to name it that. But yes, those three elements, when they combine in the heart of hearts and they anchor there, then they start to grow from there, and that is and
we approach these things with a questioning mind, so we'll just ask, so different things.
The heart is the courage, the heart is the power. That's everyone, male or female. That's and the heart is fearless. When we get into the heart, and a lot of times when we drop into the heart space and we lead ourselves from the heart, the first thing it does is take us straight into all our fears. Anything we're scared of.
Like a freight train.
It's like, okay, you don't like this, you're scared of this, let's go and do that. Let's go and do that. So sometimes this is what freaks people out when they start to get into their heart space more and start living from their heart space. They think things are going wrong, because it's like, I had a bit of a talk with someone today, and they, it feels like all this stuff's coming up, but it doesn't affect you as much. And that's just bringing the fears up to clear them, because the heart is literally fearless. So,
any more questions? Anyone want to come on for a chat? Get 5 to 10 minutes worth of 2-on-1 time.
So if you've got, the one of the really easy ways to find it is to find out what annoys you, what pisses you off. If lazy people piss you off, there's a laziness, but you're not lazy outside where they are. You could be lazy inside with your posture or your speech. Was one of mine.
So who's game enough to tell us the things that annoy them?
So we've had some really good results in the last week with that particular tool. And there's one other one which will pop into my head in a minute again. The filters one again is a very big one. So when you say I always this, when you put a fixed word like always or everybody, that creates a filter in the subconscious mind hears that repetitive thought and creates that as a reality and blocks out anything that doesn't match that. Doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You just don't notice it anymore, or you ignore it, or you shirk it off. So, what else we got? Okay.
Got a few free readings there. Yep, definitely.
Yep.
Nat and trees.
All right. Yep. So
we've
got down on the free readings. So yeah, if anyone wants to come on the Zoom and have a little chat, if they've got sort of some deeper issues, if you've got some health issues, like different pains in the body, different just the fullness in the cheeks, what do my lips represent? My top lip's thinner than my bottom lip, things like that. They all have a little symbolic message for us. So, the top lip represents our second chakra, which is our sensualness and our sexuality and stuff like that. So if we're not expressing that can cause a thinness in our top lips. Also, judgments can cause that, or speaking too much about the world can cause our bottom lip to be over thick. Little things like that can really sort of start to change. And then just by acknowledging that and looking at that, you'll feel the body shape start to change. If your cheeks are a bit drawn and a bit sucked in, you're losing some of the joy in your life. You've joy in your feelings, joy in your heart. This middle part of the face represents the heart and the feelings. The lower part is more of the emotions and the soul, the lower three chakras, and the top part, the forehead and the eyebrows and stuff, represent more your thoughts and your thinking process. So little things, these are what guide us to the questions. And everything on this thing is like a spectrum, as they call it. So it's not like this one thing means this one thing. It's like, usually you get one thing, which is, it could be that, but it could be something different, and it'll tie into another aspect. This is why when we ask for a little bit more detail, because it'll usually be two things that'll pop up that both point to the same thing.
That's why we ask to use your own words in the descriptions, the way you describe the feeling, because that's really key for us. So not just I get angry. It's like, or I get a pain. How does it feel, or what are you doing at the time, or
one of my ones that I had a really big epiphany with was getting annoyed at roundabouts, people at roundabouts, and going, oh, I'd fucking blow up, and oh, fucking hurry up, they can't drive, they're fucking hopeless at driving. I go, okay. And I said to myself, what is it that's annoying you? And I said, describe it. And I said, okay, so the rules are simple. It's supposed to be 1-1. And if everyone just followed the rules, then the whole traffic would flow a lot easier. And so I'm going, okay, so that's the basic. So I said to myself, so what rules in my life are simple that if I just followed them, everything would flow a lot easier? And it was using one or two of these tools that I wasn't using. And then as soon as I agreed in myself to start doing that, no longer did these people at the roundabouts annoy me. They were still doing the same thing, and it just meant nothing to me because I agreed to work on it. I hadn't even fully fixed it. It took me months and months to work on that afterwards. But once I started and agreed to work on it, and as soon as that annoyance would jump out a little bit, I go, oh, I'm not following my rules that make my life flow easier. Okay, I agree to do that, and then the annoyance goes away. And so, I had a guy on last week, one of the readings. He had a problem with blinkers. He said people not using their blinkers properly in the car, and it used to annoy him. And he is having some relationship issues. And I said, what does that mean to you? I said, what, they don't indicate, so they're not giving you enough signal. They're not giving you enough notification. I said, are you doing that in your relationships? You're not telling people when you want to change. And he got that. And he's like, oh yeah. And then and that took it away almost instantly.
So Marie says, people that look at me and egotistical annoy her.
Right. So why does that annoy you? So we need to know why that annoys. Be more descriptive.
About what about it annoys you, Marie?
What does that cause in their life? The egotistical thing. What does that cause? That will give us that like one part of it is the egotistical. We've also got to think like they're egotistical and it causes, why do they do that? Because it, it makes their life harder or whatever you describe it as. Will give the more accurate description. So there's a two part to it. There's what it is and what it's causing.
For example, like, people that look at me, it could be something like, oh, look at me, I'm so better than them, or I'm so better than you are, or, like that kind of thing. How does it make you feel?
And so it's, and usually you'll find that you're doing that inside. So your head's doing that to your heart, or your heart's doing that to your emotions. And so you have thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And the feelings and emotions are really tricky because most of us think that feelings and emotions are the same things. They're not. Emotions are personal. They're all about you and your life, whereas feelings are general. You can have, in your feelings, you can have unconditional love. In your emotions, you can't have unconditional love. It's all conditional because it's about you. So, and that doesn't mean that's not bad. It's just that's how it is. So emotions are more personal, whereas feelings are more general. So your feeling, you might be okay between your head and your feelings, but your ego is like, oh, I shouldn't have those emotions, and you're blocking them out. And that's the you know, we also could be your spiritual ego. You could be deciding and judging who's right and who's wrong. That's egotistical, because who are you to say what's right and wrong? Who are we to say what's right and wrong? You know, we can't see from God's point of view. That's your ego saying you're smarter than God. so and then as soon as you see that and you go, is that it? Then those egotistical people, you'll still see them, but you're just like, oh, well, that's their bad luck, you know. Bad on them.
Jane's saying that others being dishonest annoys her.
Okay, so where are you being dishonest? Where are you being dishonest to yourself? Are you being dishonest about your feelings, about what you want? Are you being dishonest that, you know, and it's a subtle dishonesty. It takes a little bit to find. You might not know that you're being dishonest. You might think you're being honest, but to be really honest, no, I don't want to fucking help these people anymore. I don't care if they're my fucking friends. They're fucking draining the shit out of me. And it's like, you're not being honest to your feelings. You're not being honest to your emotions. One of them you're not being honest to. Your feelings are saying, I've had enough of this. And then your head, that's not being honest by saying, no, I shouldn't. I should be fine. I should, you know, it doesn't matter. I'm, you know, a lot of the times we'll do it as a parent, you know, I shouldn't have my needs because that's not being honest. That's, you know, it's like, so you can be honest, and it doesn't mean you have to follow through and do all this stuff. You just have to be honest and then see where that leads.
Angela says, people who don't listen and having to say things over and over annoys them.
Yeah. So again, this is all seems to be the same thing. Does your head listen to your emotions? Does your heart listen to your inner child? You have to your inner child has to keep saying over and over again, I just want to play. I just want to fucking chill out. I don't want to tell everyone what I'm doing all the time. You know, I don't, you know, and it's like, it's your emotions are possibly, or your head possibly telling you over and over again, and you're not listening. Your feelings and your feelings, emotions, and head. And this is what happens most of the time. It's usually the battle between the three. Between the thoughts, the feelings, and the emotions. One's not listening to the other. And the feelings have to keep repeating themselves, or the emotions have to keep repeating themselves over and over. And it's like, and that's why it reflects to the outside, because it's trying to point you to that thing. And it's like, so you say, oh, do my feelings keep telling me they want to do this? Or do my emotions keep telling me they want something and I don't listen? And I have to keep repeating till I get to, like, you know, it might be as simple as my feelings are telling me I want to rest, but they're going to keep telling me I've got to rest, and I won't rest because I've got to go to work and I've got to make the money and I've got to do this and I've got to do that. Gotta. And then it's like, so then your feelings have to make you, your emotions have to make you sick to make you rest. And that's after, the only time your feelings or emotions will make you sick to make you rest is after they've told you fucking 50 times, I need a rest, you know, and you're not listening. And it's that's that repetitive nature. And so these is why these things on the outside annoy us, and they become reflective. Very reflective,
you know, and sometimes, you know, they can be a little difficult to interpret, you know. And so rather than just ignoring it and continuing down that pattern, just agree, you know, just okay, acknowledge maybe that is the case, perhaps it is, you know, I'm willing to work with that if you know, perhaps I'm, you know, having to say things over and over and over within myself in some way.
And the simple way that John's saying you can do that is go, am I doing that to myself on the inside? Even if I can't see how I'm doing it, this is the inner dialogue you have. Even though I can't see it, I acknowledge that maybe I'm doing that, and I'll start to, and you just say, I'll start to look at that. I'll start to listen to that. I'll try and listen to that more. If that's me not listening to me, if my head's not listening to my heart, or my head's not listening to my gut, then I will do that. I'll start to do that. And just in that comment alone will be an instant change. You'll start to feel the relief almost instantly.
You know, and you'll start to then notice these things don't annoy you anymore.
Yeah.
You know? You'll still see them, but they just won't annoy you.
Yeah, that's how you know, because, you know, 10 minutes ago that annoyed me, and it's been annoying me every day for the last 6 years. And now I agree to work on it, and I just saw it again and it didn't annoy me anymore. So, okay.
Alrighty. KT, deeper meditations have given my emotional body a voice amidst usually very busy mental dominance environment. My annoyance is also people who don't respond to me. So how am I not responding to myself?
So it sounds like you're not responding to your heart, because you just said then you've got your deeper meditation, which the meditation is the mind, the third eye, the Jnana yoga, they call that. The emotions is more the Kriya yoga. And so that's the feelings and stuff. I mean, the emotions. And so that gives us the ability to manipulate and change and do magic. But the feelings, which is like the devotion, which is the Bhakti yoga, they call that. And that one sounds like the one that you're missing. So you've got two parts going, and you're not listening to that third part. And the third part's difficult if it is the feelings, if it is the heart, because that's the one that's going to make you face all of your fears. It's just going to say, okay, enough of this. I'm sick of listening to this shit. Go and face it. If you're scared of fucking speaking up, if you're scared of public speaking, it's going to make you public speak. If you're scared of standing out in a crowd, it's going to make you stand out in a crowd just to get rid of the fear. Not because, and then once you get rid of the fear, then you can go back to a either or mentality.
Okay. Where are we? Marie's got another one. I work in education, and parents that don't parent their kids are very annoying. To be more specific, it's the parents that want to blame everyone else for their child's behavior. This happened recently to a friend of mine, and I'm annoyed on her behalf.
So what are you blaming for your behavior? So this is what you've got to look at. So you might be blaming circumstance. You might be blaming your DNA. You can be blaming the universe and the environment. And so subtly in the background, you're blaming something and you're not parenting. So the parenting that our divine masculine has to do is the parenting of our own emotions. And it's both the positive and the negative parenting. So some people are too strict on their emotions and won't let themselves play at all. Others aren't strict enough and just let their emotions and let them fly out and run wild. So it's the proper parenting there. And then it's the blaming. Oh, well, it could be blaming a circumstance. Oh, well, it's the way I was brought up. I wasn't taught this stuff. That's blaming, or, that it's because of society and that's blaming. So that's your parent, the two parents, the divine masculine, divine feminine, could be not parenting the inner child as much, and then blaming circumstance, blaming education, blaming your hereditary. People blame DNA for so much stuff, it's like, I can't get past that because that's the way I was brought up. It's like, no, you can get past it because you've got free will and you've got choice. It's difficult, it's not easy, but you can get past it.
Yep.
So that's that. And as you see that, you just ask that question, say, oh, am I blaming circumstance? Am I blaming something inside myself for what's going on around in my life, and what's it going to take for me to stop that? Just start that dialogue and go, okay, show me how to stop my blaming. So, and I'm, it could be my feelings blaming my emotions, which is really a hard one to identify. So you have to ask that question.
Yep.
Is my feelings blaming my emotions? My head's all clear on this. For most of this stuff I find with people, we've got the knowledge, like our conscious mind knows all this shit inside and out and back to front, but our subconscious mind is fucking running all the old patterns, and then we think it's, it's environmental or it's dietary. You could be blaming your diet for your health, for your lack of energy. It could be as simple as that.
Yeah, and it helps to be repetitive with this,
Yeah.
So just do it, you could do it once a day, or do it initially a few times, and then if you notice that someone's child's behavior that annoys you again, okay, just do it again, then use that as a prompt to remind you to do it.
So am I blaming something?
Am I blaming something right now?
Am I blaming circumstance? Am I blaming something in the world for what I'm going through internally?
Because at times these can be signs about stuff that's going on, like right then and there in that moment, something that you're just working through.
It doesn't have to be thoughts; it can be feelings. Yeah. Like the feeling could be running in the background while you're thinking something completely different. There's a subtle feeling or an emotion of resentment or guilt or something running in the background, and then there's this internal blaming between the thoughts and feelings.
Yep. Anyone else? What annoys you? Give us a description.
Or if anyone wants to come on live. We've still got a little bit of time left. We could do one if anyone wants to come on and just talk a bit through it. Because when we talk with them and then they respond back, it really gets down to that. Because often it's just the littlest sentence. It's just that little one word that they finally see it and then they change it in themselves. Now we can only point And that pointing is up to the individual, whether they want to look and whether they want to deal with it. Otherwise, we're just victims. We're victims of circumstance. We're victims of God sometimes. If you believe in karma and you get limited by karma, that's almost like being a victim of God. Grace and forgiveness supersedes karma. We're supposed to learn this 2,000 years ago when Jesus came to the planet about forgiveness. We're still fucking struggling with it. We're still living in this karma world of an eye for an eye. And, it's like, it's taken us a long time to learn about forgiveness. Forgiveness is receiving forgiveness and giving forgiveness. And that's what causes the healing instantly. It's an instant healing. And the reason after you receive forgiveness from the universe, that's why you forgive everyone else, because the universe has completely forgiven you if you open up and allow it to come through.
I feel like someone's judging themselves right now. My nose is going.
Yeah, and be careful with all this stuff. The intellect or the ego can take all these techniques can be medicine or poison. And if you start beating yourself up with them, go, oh fuck, now I'm being a victim, and you say it that way, then you're doubling the problem. So please be gentle with yourself when you're doing this stuff. Do it bit by bit. Say, oh, this is good. This is good. I'm starting to learn this. I'm starting to learn. Be gentle on yourself. Otherwise, these interpretations can become just as bad as all the other stuff you're doing if you start using it as a weapon against yourself, or against the world.
So Bryony, sorry if I pronounced that wrong. So if everyone is annoying me at the moment, am I really just annoyed at myself?
Yeah, but you got to look at what they're annoying you. It's the specifics. It's like, you're not just annoyed at yourself, but yes, that if everyone is just annoying in general, then it is something's just annoying. Something in your reality is annoying. Usually doesn't. You could be doing exactly the same thing. Sometimes, on a rarer occasions, sometimes the things that are pissing people off on the outside, the less conscious they are, they're actually doing exactly the same thing and they'll bitch about it. But usually because people are on here, it's usually going to be in a different aspect of their life. So you've got to sort of, nail it down to a bit. What's annoying you? What describe the actions and describe the results of the actions. So it's both the actions and the results. And you say, well, so where am I doing those actions and having those results in my life, between my head and my heart, between the way I deal with the world, between me and the universe, between me and society. Often, we judge society because we've got the newspapers telling us all this so-called bad shit's happening. And then we sort of think, oh, fucking the world's fucked up. And, and we're doing that same thing just with our general attitude about the world.
Yeah, look at the specifics of what exactly it is. Yeah.
So that's like, just break it down in your words. So
your words.
What's annoying you? Okay.
Like, give us an example of something that's annoying you right now. If you can think of one,
something that annoyed you today.
Something that annoyed you today about someone, particularly.
What did they do, and what does that mean?
Was it something they were wearing? Something they said? Was it the way they looked? Was it a particular item that they had? Did they have like a flashy bag or a flashy dress or a flashy car? Like, was it something they owned?
People are judging me and they're just getting in my way. It can be anything. Like, you got to just name it like that.
No one gets out of my way when I'm walking down the street.
And then you go,
things like that.
Am I getting in the way of my heart? Because my heart's supposed to lead, not my head. My head's supposed to be the sacred witness. The ego, the intellect, is supposed to be the sacred witness, and it's a good thing. It's not something we're supposed to get rid of. It's just gotten too big in comparison. It's like we need to have a bigger identity as a child of God. It's like, I'm a child of God and everyone's a child of God. So therefore, the bigger the ego, the bigger the intellect, the bigger the identity needs to be. So you need to be a Christ on earth, or a Buddha on earth. So that if you're intellect and you've got so really smart and sharp, then you need to increase that so that intellect doesn't get out of control.
I love this thread. People sending me invoices at 5 p.m. on a Friday and then sending me 3 reminders that I haven't paid it yet and it's Monday.
So how would you describe that? So what it sounds like you're saying is,
they're not giving you enough time.
Not giving you enough time. They push it, they do it, and they don't give it in a
being inconsiderate.
They don't give it in due course, and then they fucking hurry you up for it. So are you doing that with your feelings? So you see something new that you need to do. Oh, I need to fix my diet up, right? And then, oh shit, I ate meat again. Say you decided you want to be a vegetarian, and then you still eat meat. You still eat meat for a couple of weeks, and then you're pushing yourself to do it straight away. To realize something doesn't mean you've got to do it all straight away. And that's what it feels like with this one. You're doing those demands on yourself. You get these new realizations of new directions you need to do, whether it's health or direction in your life, or just mental and emotional. And then you push yourself that you're not doing it straight away.
Yeah.
It's like, I decided yesterday that I was going to be vegetarian and I was still eating meat. It's like, I decided yesterday not to be judgmental and I'm still judging. It takes a while. Give yourself the time to change those patterns. When you find something new, your new direction, whether it's internal or external, then just go, okay, yep, I'm changing it more and more, and start to change that dialogue. So, yep, I'm doing it more. Chill out emotions.
Calm the fuck down.
Chill out, heart. We're getting there. I'm getting there. It's like I'm not going to get there all in one day.
I used to say, relax, boys and girls. Just relax, boys and girls.
Yes, that's talk that inner dialogue. Make it fun. Make it
Talk to yourself. Talk to your body like it's a pet. If you love pets or a child or a soft toy or.
Thank you, buddy. Sorry I haven't listened to you for 20 fucking years.
Yeah. Sorry I've been an arrogant asshole all this time.
Sorry, heart, but I've been ignoring you all this time, and sorry that I can't just drop him all at once, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there more and more. I'm going to work on this each day. I'm going to work on it more. That gentle talk and that will make things change a lot faster.
Yeah, she just said I'm putting too many demands on myself. How about that?
Yeah.
How's that working for you?
And it's not even too many demands. It's too many demands too quickly. It's like, give yourself time. Have those demands, but just spread them out a little bit.
Yeah.
And just, give yourself more time. So, okay, I want to change this.
I want to bounce back.
I want to change this. Okay.
Thanks for that.
I want to change this week. All right. So every time I used to do this, okay, whatever time I put on it, then I triple it. So if I want to change something in a week, I make it 3 weeks, and vice versa. If I want to discipline and I want to get off something, okay, I'm going to have a month off the alcohol. Okay, make that a year. Because so I can get past the intellect on that. So change the like whatever time limits you do, change those time limits. And if you can, drop the time limits altogether and say, I'm going to do that in divine timing and I'm going to do it more and more. But at first you're used to giving specific times and that. So just at least triple them all,
Yeah, she just said, I'm run down, my body can't take it.
Yeah. So your body can't take it, and it's like, and that's because you're demanding too much of your body, and you're demanding it too quickly. It's like, okay, so my body needs energy, and it's like, okay, I've had 8 hours sleep. You should be fucking recharged. It's
Come
like,
on, buddy.
Okay, maybe it's going to take a few months. Maybe it's going to take a little while to recharge, and maybe that slowing down and setting back and have the FOMO, the JOMO, what we call JOMO.
The joy of missing out.
The joy of missing out instead of the fear of missing out. We start to miss out on things and start to feel the joy of that. It takes all that pressure off and give yourself some time and say, okay, I don't know, it might take me a bit longer than I think, but I'm going to start giving myself some more time.
Yeah.
And I'm going to, spread it out.
And sometimes we get messages in glimpses of information or whatever. And we think we need to act on it right away.
Yeah.
When at times it could be a week or 2 weeks away. And but you were just at the right place at the right time and open enough to receive a message. That something's coming up, or maybe you should start to consider this.
Yeah. So
so check in with yourself too. What if you've got 2 or 3 things on the go? Just check in and go, okay, does it feel like I should be working on this today?
Yeah.
No. Okay, well I'll leave that alone.
So agree straight away, instantly agree, and say I'm going to start doing that more and more. I'm going to ease myself into it. I'm going to take the time. Yep. But I'm going to agree that I'm going to start changing my diet.
Yeah.
And I'll change it bit by bit in a gentle, in a gentle, wholesome way. Not, oh shit, I realized I should stop this. And then we just try and put the brakes on completely all at once. And that, there's too much momentum behind some of our habits and patterns.
It's like trying to turn a cruise ship that's going, 100 knots an hour or whatever it is, to just turn it around and go back the other way. It doesn't work that way. You've got to gradually go round and round and take that time to get the boat going back.
A lot of habits and a lot of patterns in our life are like that. They're like a big ocean liner. And it's like, oh, I'm going the wrong way. It's like, okay, so first of all, the ocean liner has to back off the speed, slow down a bit, because if it turns straight away, it'll fucking roll and sink. And then when it slows down, then it turns around. But as soon as you start to do that, as soon as you start to turn, there's a relief because you're starting to head in the right direction. So it doesn't matter how long it takes.
Yep.
The relief comes as soon as you start to change direction and go to the right direction. There's already, and you know that you're doing the right thing because there is that relief. Okay, it doesn't matter now. It doesn't matter how long it takes. Internally, you get that feeling and that relief. Yeah. So You know, that these are the, you know, this is, be gentle with these tools, you know. You know, if like a lot of people go, I want to kill the ego. It's like, that is the ego speaking, because the real self never talks in words like that. It never talks in absolutes or, you know, harsh words, or, you know, I'm going to fucking kill it. I'm going to get rid of it. I have to do this. All these harsh words are the ego. So it's like, we might realize the ego is being in control, and that's just one of them. And then we go, okay, that's it. I need to, you know, I've got to get rid of this ego. And it's like, that's the ego.
Stop this right
That's
now.
the ego trying to get rid of itself. It's just insane. You know, the real self goes, aha. That's being awe-inspired. When you have awe, it's like you go, oh, that's what it is. And there in that awe lies the gentleness. That's where the gentleness comes in. Again. When you get awe, that's what it is. There's no hurry to change it then. That awe makes the awareness, and that starts to change instantly. And then you will be gentle. Otherwise, you're just having the awareness in one aspect of yourself, and then you're trying to enforce it and dictate it over the rest of your being. You know? So all right then, guys.
That's a wrap, John.
So that's a wrap for this week. So check out our videos. The links and that are at the top. We'll I'll share the free readings that people have messaged.
We do paid readings.
We do paid readings, so we can do 2-on-1 or 1-on-1, so you can get the reading from the both of us. If you're really brave and you want to, if you want to really tackle some stuff, or if you really find yourself, if you find it difficult for other people to get through to you, often people who are really quick-minded, it's really good when they work with both of us, because you know some people find it some people find it hard to get any therapy off anyone, because they're so fast that like the one therapist can't nail them down. So having two there really can get around that guard. So we can do the 2-on-1s or the 1-on-1 readings if you want to get paid readings. There's already got the free ones mentioned before. And yeah, we'll be back next week.
If you've not watched our tools, jump on our YouTube channel. The link's up the top. Get on there and have a look at some of the tools that we've got. In the intuitive guidance sessions, if you're interested in one of those, we've got some client session demos that we've done with other people. Same time next week, Monday night. And
we'll have some courses coming up soon if you're in Melbourne.
We're working on courses.
So we'll be doing the weekend workshops and stuff in Melbourne.
Excuse you.
Very shortly. So on that release, we'll go.
Thanks very much,
guys.
Any questions?
God bless.
See you guys.